Our friends at WGBH in Boston pride themselves on providing high-quality programs and resources to screens all over the country. And they want to continue that by sharing helpful educational resources they provide for teachers and students on the World Channel.
The COVID-19 pandemic forced the closing of schools across the country. Certainly, as you know, PBS, public media stations across the country felt that we had to spring into action. As Paula Kerger said, public media was made for this moment. So with the leadership of PBS, stations like PBS SoCal, KQED, WNET, and the WGBH Education Department, along with PBS Learning Media, we at World decided to dedicate our afternoon block from 12 to 5, and that's Eastern Standard Time, to the at-home learning media effort.
To further show their dedication to education, they pull ideas from a group of researchers who share the same passion to educate, strengthen, and challenge the minds of its viewers.
So we have a team at WGBH Education that has been curating the programming that goes into these educational blocks. We have people who work on our team who have deep knowledge of science and social studies curriculum knowledge. We've been working with WNET in New York to get their suggestions around the language arts picks. So they are making these picks very thoughtfully. They're thinking about what topics are being taught in the classroom. They're thinking about how we can build knowledge. So maybe we can make connections between the language arts programming we're putting on and the social studies programming. We're also considering whether the films that we schedule in this programming block have related resources on PBS Learning Media. And we're trying to prioritize those where we can.
And with that in mind, they want to make sure that they're touching all bases with their enriching educational content.
As part of our rapid response effort to the current health crisis, we were looking for ways that we could support teachers and students and families, and thinking about ways that we could do that that would equitably help all of the students. So we designed this at-home learning block that runs on the World Channel. It runs from 12 to 5 on weekdays. The programs are educational and they're curriculum aligned, and they're for middle school and high school. The reason that we chose those grades is because we felt like there were already a lot of options out there from PBS for the younger grades on PBS and PBS Kids, but there weren't as many dedicated areas that you could find educational programming for the older grades.
And it was important that it go out on an entity like World, because for those families that can't afford broadband, don't have access to the internet, they have over the air. And so we are transmitted free over the air and on cable and everywhere. So that way any family, any student could access this important programming. And then what we did with the help of WNET, we created schedules. So when you clicked on the schedule to sort of see what was playing today in this at-home learning media block, it immediately sends you to about over 30,000 assets related, 30,000 assets on PBS Learning Media. And that clicking on that schedule of when, say, like a Nova ad airs, it goes directly to learning media assets so that students can learn more about whatever subject matter's on.
Through their content, they want to make sure that its viewers' minds are remaining active and receptive to new knowledge and different cultural perspectives.
So the GBH education team is thoughtfully curating program blocks that not only align with curriculum, but create connections and build knowledge. And we're exploring ways that we can further deepen the educational experience. High quality educational programming can only do so much. So we know it's not a substitute for good teaching by a teacher in the classroom. However, there is research that indicates viewing engaging and even challenging content calls on similar parts of the brain as does reading a good book.
We're getting incredible feedback from not only teachers, but parents and students as well, thanking us for providing them this kind of organization and really providing learning in a engaging, interesting, fascinating, and a little easier to handle way. Rather than simply going through books, which are important, people can watch these important documentaries about history, about science, like the planets, and about language arts. and then relate that directly to these learning media assets on PBS Learning Media to make it easier to find and simpler to execute on for everyone, whether you're a student, whether you're a teacher, or whether you're parents.